Moving on to number 11, I've got Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks. We're back in the Pac-12, and this is the team that I've got finishing second in the Pac-12. They finished 10-3 last year, which was awesome, I think, for Dan Lanning. Coming over as a defense coordinator from Georgia. This is his first year as a head coach, and I thought he did a phenomenal job, especially, taking a 49-3 loss to Georgia on the chin and getting his team back and focused, and ready to play again, and only dropping 2 more games after that. I'm excited to see what he's able to do. Again, another coach that's going to be in his second year, and hopefully taking a big jump if you're a Ducks fan. So I think the D will play a lot better. I think that when you look at some of the minor numbers and stats, you see a lot of missed tackles from this defense, and I have a hard time believing that coming out of Kirby's system that that defense is going to continue to show that an inability to tackle and tackle properly and often. So I think the D will play much better. Bo Nix has just kind of gotten better with age, right? Other than his freshman year, where everybody thought he was going to be a Heisman contender, after that at Auburn. But I think Bo Nix is a legitimate Heisman contender this year. I think that you could see him in New York at the end of the season. I don't think he wins it, but I think he is a contender, and he's going to lead the offense in a promising fashion. The Ducks were also very busy in the transfer portal last season, getting two weapons for Nix to pass to, and 2 new offensive linemen. So they also did a complete overhaul on defense, getting 7 new starters, including their entire secondary. So I do have questions with the secondary about their ability to come in and gel as a unit right away, and that's sort of the issue really with the transfer portal. That a lot of teams face, is how do they come in and fit in? How do they come in and jive with the culture, and the players that are already there and in place? And I also look at this schedule and I say, gosh, Texas Tech is going to be an issue week 2, right? But realistically, there's not a game on their schedule I think that they just should lose outright. They won't be favored in all of them, but there's certainly a path to victory for each game. I have them ranging between 8 to 12 wins. I think that they do lose to USC. And then I think that they also drop one other game on their schedule at some point. Could be Texas Tech, could be Washington, could be Utah. And I'm not counting out Oregon State at the end of the year. But I have them picked to finish 10-2 in the regular season. And that is my 15 through 11 mark. Anything you'd like?
I'm going to keep it moving to number 13, another team that we've already talked about. I've got Oregon at number 13, and I've got them at 9-3 this year. And before I move on to Kansas State, I had 9-3 also. But Oregon at 9-3, hey, Bo Nix is back again, man. It's the quarterback that won't never leave. And here lately, we've seen some older quarterbacks do really well. And I think that he's going to be even better than he was last year. Kenny Dillingham did leave to go be the Arizona State coach. So he's out at offensive coordinator. You bring in Will Stein from UTSA, UTSA had a really good offense last year, and that's they bring a lot of those guys back, but don't have their offensive coordinator because he's at Oregon. So you're going to see a little more tempo on the offense. Trayshawn Holden and Troy Franklin are back, and I think those 2 guys, I mean, you're looking for 1,000-yard seasons, right? That's pretty much the goal for those guys at this point. They've had plenty of playing time. It's their time to shine. Tez Johnson is actually Bo Nix's adopted brother. He's like a super speedy guy. Small build. I think he's only about 160 pounds, but like world-class sprint type speed, right? Like this guy is really fast. He comes in at wide receiver. They're looking for him to maybe come in and play some certain downs and take the top off the defense. Chris Hudson, who's a wide receiver, he's back. 4 starters are gone from the offensive line. This is where the 3 losses come in for me. And not to mention the Pac-12 is so daggum competitive this year. There's about 4 or 5 teams that I think have a chance to win the Pac-12. Obviously, I have my favorite, and I'll get to that in a bit. But as far as this offensive line, if they have any kind of injury issues, they're going to have problems, and that part kind of scares me. And I'm gonna go over here and pull their schedule up real quick, and let's just take a look at it real quick. Um, I think that the schedule's pretty. I think it's pretty tough. I do, and like I said, the Pac-12 is it's very competitive this year, man. There's a lot of teams that I think have a shot to win the conference, and therefore I think there's going to be pretty good bit of you know parity going on. So you got Portland State, and then you go at Texas Tech week 2. That's going to be a tough game. I think Texas Tech at that point in the season they're going to be raring to go. They're coming off of a hot last half of the season last year. Place is going to be packed out. It's going to be loud. Lubbock, whenever they're relevant, is a loud place. You got Hawaii at your place. You'll beat the ever living crap out of them. You got Colorado at your place. You'll beat the ever living crap out of them. I know everybody can't wait to see that too. That's going to be awesome. Those 2 coaches have been kind of jawing a little bit. And then you got at Stanford and at Washington. But at Stanford, then you have a bye week, and then at Washington. So I think the bye week sets up pretty decent. You're definitely, if there's one team on this list that you want to have that bye week before, I think it's Washington. That's in my opinion, pound for pound, I think the most physical team in the Pac-12, especially along the lines of scrimmage. So those first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you've really only got one game that you have a chance of losing, and that's at Texas Tech. So if you can get past them, I think you're 5-0 going into the Washington game, and I think Washington beats Oregon. And so then you got Washington State at home, you'll beat them, and then you go to Utah. And I think this is going to be a tough game. I think this is going to be a tough game. It'll be tough sledding. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a good atmosphere. But I see Oregon losing that game. And then I see Cal. That's going to be an easy win. And then you got USC at home. I see USC winning that game. And then I see you winning out at Arizona State and then playing a really good rivalry game at the end of the year and probably squeaking one out against Oregon State. So those are that's my take on Oregon, and I think that they're kind of volatile. I think you could very easily see them going 11-1. I really do. I think they have enough talent, and I do believe in their coach. He obviously an ex-Georgia guy. Dan Lanning is doing a really remarkable job out there. So I definitely have confidence that he can get them to the next level. I just don't know if it's going to be this year, in my opinion, but